Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Matthew Varga here. I have a special guest today, Nikole Goncalves, aka HealthNut Nutrition, aka my better half, aka my baby's mama. A lot of AKAs.
I'm a lot of things.
You are a lot of things bundled into one fantastic package.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So in today's video, we are doing a questions and answer. We've been getting a lot of questions just about parenthood, our real estate, our business, just a lot of different things. So we thought it'd be good to do another Q&A. We did one a little while ago. I'll link right here. So if you want to check out some past questions that we've answered, you can watch that video there.
Can we just talk about how pregnant I was in that video?
Oh yeah,
Let's just do a quick clip. I feel like I was so bloated. I was like fully 9 months pregnant. Not in the 9th month, like the end of the 9th month.
It was like, yeah, I think just before you popped. It was like right around that end mark. So, yeah. And you're pretty much back to pre-pregnancy Nikole. We're like, I can't tell the difference between you now and you like pre-baby. I just saying. I can't.
Yeah. I know, it's crazy. Yeah, Sage is almost 6 months, and yeah, crazy. Last time we filmed this, pretty much then 6 months ago.
Yeah. So before we jump into the first question, I just wanted to mention as well that due to popular demand, I do have some one-on-one coaching calls that I've opened up. I only do a few each month, but we do have that available. And I think we have a discount code for anyone who's a HealthNut Nutrition fan. So
I'm learning about this now.
Yeah, I think we 50% off for coaching call if you use the discount code HealthNut. So if you're interested in that, I have a link down below. Check it out and use that discount code. I think I'm only doing maybe 5 people who can use that code to get 50% off. So if you want to call with me about anything from real estate to setting up your own online store to
dad life. No, I'm kidding.
I guess
just
yeah, more business stuff, then make sure you book that call. And let's jump into today's video with our first question.
I have no idea what the questions are. We asked for questions on my Instagram and Matt's Instagram. And I took a quick peek last night as they were rolling in, but I have no idea. So I'm kind of excited. Just surprised me.
Okay. Well, the first one, I wanted to do a real estate one. We have money for a down payment, but probably won't qualify for a mortgage in order to get an investment property to rent out. What do you suggest? It's a good question. I think a lot of people are actually going to be facing that difficulty in the future, in the near future, if not now, because prices in a lot of places have just been like going through the roof.
It's crazy.
It's been crazy. Like the increase in prices. Here in Canada, they're talking about and probably going to implement some like stricter mortgage qualifying rules. So I think there's going to be a lot of people who are going to have a down payment saved that would have been able to buy a place before, but now with the prices going up and with the new mortgage qualifying rules that are likely going to come in, it's going to be harder for those individuals to be able to buy an investment property. Mm-hmm. So my recommendation for that would be, I think you probably need to start to look to find a partner. And by that I mean someone who's going to help you to qualify for that investment property so you can actually get it. So I know a lot of people are apprehensive to partner with someone. I get that. We were too. We like to do things individually. But in today's economy, with things going on now, it's probably in your best interest to look to partner with someone so you can actually qualify for that property. As that saying goes, I'd rather have 50% of something than 100% of nothing. So looking to partner with someone who's going to help bolster your application is probably going to be key moving forward for a lot of people, even for ourselves with some future deals as we look to grow our portfolio. So some examples of how you can partner with someone would be, finding a friend or family or someone that you know who maybe doesn't own rental properties, wants to get into it. Maybe they have a little bit of money they can put in onto that application. Maybe they make good income and they don't have a lot of debt, so they can help you qualify for mortgages. Yeah. So looking to find someone strategically who's going to help you to qualify for more mortgages and grow your portfolio and theirs as well, create a nice win-win situation, is probably going to be what you're going to want to look to do for growing your portfolio in the future. So next question, how do you manage multiple businesses working with your partner spouse?
In sense of like how we work things, like we're trying to be better with like having meetings just us two where we sit down and talk about things, because I find as you get really busy, sometimes like we'll have meetings with our team, But then we're like discussing things for the first time with the team that we haven't even really talked about yet. So that's been something important. We're like Mondays, we'll kind of, sit down, chat to each other about different businesses. Like we have like the real estate investing side of things. We have HealthNut Nutrition, which branches out into many things. The cookbook, HealthNut Shop. We have BeautyNut Skincare. And that's a whole, like Matt is really involved in like the behind the scenes of like the logistics really with the shop, where I'm more like the creation and the marketing for that.
Yeah, so I think Nikole covered it, but just sort of a quick summary of what I think is, one, just realize that you're gonna have some issues, you're gonna butt heads. It's gonna happen, like regardless how good your relationship is, regardless how much you guys work together well, it's gonna happen. There's gonna be times where you have those issues. Just be adults, don't take it personally and just work through it. And I think the other part of that is just to recognize each other's strengths, know who's good at what and who's better at what, and just even if you disagree with that person, just understand if their skill set is heavier weighted in like the creative side. Even if I think one thing, okay, I'm gonna concede to that for Nikole because she just understands it better than I do, even if I have a certain way of looking at it. So I think those are some key things, is just understand it's gonna happen, just work through it, and then just really realize where your strengths are and what's most important, and kind of let that person run with it if you're both disagreeing on a certain topic, right?
Yeah.
So, next question. Do you have to claim Airbnb income as business income, aka higher taxes? So, we've just gotten into the Airbnb game, as you've probably seen. If you haven't seen it, we got some videos we'll link down below. Loving it, loving the Airbnb thing.
I know, it's such a fun new investment opportunity.
Yeah, it's fun, like the cash flow is crazy. So to answer this question, yes, money that you make off Airbnb is business income, same as rent. You have to declare it, you have to pay tax on it. Depending if you have that property in a corporation or if you have a corporation that's actively managing that property, that will kind of determine how you structure things and which business is going to declare that income. So talk with your accountant about that, but you can definitely be pretty strategic, move things around so you pay less tax than you would if you just claimed it as personal income. So look into that. Next question. How was your relationship while pregnant? How did you keep the spark alive? And then #help.
I mean, things definitely change a little bit when you're pregnant, because you go from, just it being the two of you to one person's like growing a baby and like the other person's kind of supporting them in that. So, you're kind of taking care of two people really. I feel like the relationship changes to more of a nurturing relationship. Not that like you didn't take care of me before, but I feel like once I was pregnant, like I wasn't feeling good in my first trimester, not only was I not feeling well and you're like helping me with that, but like we're also like mentally going through a big change about the fact that we're going to be parents. You're supporting me while I was pregnant, but I think we're supporting each other just mentally with like figuring out like our new way of life. In terms, what was the second part of that question?
How'd you keep the spark alive?
I mean, I think just like still doing fun things together, like even, keeping the spark alive. I don't think necessarily has to be like your sex life. It could just be keeping, like cuddling, holding hands, doing date night, even if that means just like ordering in something and, turning off your phones, connecting, talking. I think it's so easy to just like live with someone and lose that spark and that connection. And a lot of times for us too, we're like, have we even kissed each other today? Like, it's simple things like that. I think that are really important to make sure you make an effort to keep up with that, because it's easy. You get busy day-to-day life. We run our businesses from home. We're now parents, and it's so easy to let like your core relationship be the last thing on your mind. But that's like, without that, everything else will fall apart. So I think it's really important to make sure you're making time for that.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add to like?
No, I just think like try to do stuff like it was the pandemic when we were pregnant, so our options were limited. But, when lockdown was not as strict, we would go to the beach.
Oh yeah.
We'd at least like go to the beach.
Road trips still.
We'd do some drives around and just like listen to music. We drove to the beach area, walked around, got ice cream, just like little things. It was simple, but at least it broke up the monotony of just every day getting closer and closer to a baby coming. So it's like you got to try to break it up, have some fun. That's the best advice I can probably give.
And also we love hikes. We do hikes every single weekend, and that's like our time just to connect with one another.
True. Yeah. A couple of these ones is just passive income ideas. So first off, I would just say that I think the concept of passive income, or that term, is thrown around so much. But the reality is there's very few just strictly passive income streams, really. I mean, like,
because like
everything takes a bit
like,
of work.
You set it up and then you make money.
Like the term passive means like you just make money and you do nothing, which is, you know, far from the truth. There's always something you got to do. So just keep that in mind. You know, passive income means you still have to do a little bit of work. So what's a couple of top things that you would say for people for passive income?
I mean, it's funny because I feel like we have the opposite problem. I feel like once you start making passive income, you're like, oh, we could do this, we could do that, we could do that. You know, you almost have to like narrow it down. So I guess like passive income, well, definitely one of them I guess would be real estate investing. You know, you invest in a property, you have tenants paying your rent, paying down your mortgage. It is essentially passive income, but like if there's a repair or if there's anything that pops up, like the tenant calls you have to deal with that. It's not just like set and forget. So for me, some things that I do is using affiliate links, which is basically tracked links that I earn a small commission. So if I'm already recommending something, I put that link in there. I don't have to work with the brand, but I'll get a small commission. And you know, in the long term, like those add up. Other ways, I guess, would be like if we create a digital product, you create it once and then you set it up. If someone purchases it, you don't have to go in and fulfill it. It just automatically gets mailed out to their email. I'm trying to think of other things.
Yeah, I think one of the best forms of passive income, if you have, you know, a chunk of money to invest with, would be private lending. So that's probably one of the truer forms of passive income, because you find someone that you can lend your money out at 10% interest, and you just get paid every month. And the only work you've done is just the upfront work of finding that person, doing your due diligence. Then once you lend the money, you collect that monthly income each month. Very, very passive. So that's like definitely a good way to do it. If you've already accumulated some funds, you need that to be able to lend out, of course.
And even other ones I thought of too is just ad revenue. So both on the blog and my YouTube channel, like, yeah, I'm creating the work initially, whether creating a blog post or filming a video. But like now when we get our monthly AdSense, it's not just from the videos I'm creating that week. It's like an accumulation of all the videos that I've created since I started YouTube. I get that paycheck every single month. So I don't have to, those videos have already been created. That is passive income.
So next question, there's a couple of these. What's the hardest part for Matt about being a dad? How's it being a new dad? I think there was another question just about what it's like being a dad for a girl. I think like the hardest part of being a dad, outside of the lack of sleep, which I think is the hardest part for both of us, but I think the hardest part at first is for me, and I've heard other dads say that, is that it's hard to have that connection with a baby right off the bat. I'm sure there's a lot of guys who do. They have that instant bond and connection. I didn't really personally myself. And I've talked to other dads who had the same thing, is that at first you're not really connected because, you know, your baby doesn't do much. You're not breastfeeding. You're not really getting that opportunity to connect. But now that Sage is a bit older, you know, there's actually like reaction. You can kind of play. You can get her to giggle. So now I'm starting to really feel more of that connection, which at first I didn't feel. And I sort of felt like a little bad about it because I'm like, oh, I'm a father. And like Hollywood and movies kind of paint this image of like the second your baby comes out, you have this like connection and for life. And I'm sure some people do, but for me, that was not the reality. And I've heard more people say it's not really the reality. So I felt that was a bit difficult at first. So just know, you know, if you're a dad or if your significant other doesn't have that instant connection, it's not unusual. I think it's quite normal. You know, and it does come once Sage.
Oh, now you guys are like, I'm like,
yeah,
hey, you're playing too rough. They're too much of like,
yeah, you can get some
two
giggles
peas in a
and
pod.
plays, and I think as time goes on, it'll be even more so. I'm really looking forward more to the age where it's like, you know, I can take her to, I don't know, dance and different things and teach her
She'll be
stuff.
like, Daddy. I'm just excited for you guys to keep continuing that.
Yeah, I think like for a lot of guys, it's like we probably enjoy that period more where we actually can like do the more interactive stuff. You know, I'm generalizing, but for me, that's That's how I felt, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's been cute seeing you guys create your own relationship together.
Next question, there's a couple about this. How did you guys work your finances together as like a new couple? Joint bank account or his and her money? There was a few questions around that.
I think we did touch base a little bit in our last one, so maybe we can just answer this quickly. I would say that like in the beginning when we were dating, everything was we were very independent with our money. Everything was split 50-50. And then we basically, once we started kind of like growing our wealth together and just being more committed, knowing like this is the person I'm going to be with for the rest of my life, because you don't have to be married in order to have like a money commitment. And I think once we kind of realize that like we are building our wealth together, we see this going long term, I think we just started kind of putting our money all in one pot. And I don't look at it as like my money, your money, it's our money. Whoever makes money, it's going to the same household. We have some separate bank accounts like for different businesses. We still have our own personal bank accounts, but you deal more with the behind the scenes finance stuff. So how do you split up?
I think like it depends on where you are in your relationship. Like Nikole was saying, if it's a pretty new relationship, then I definitely think keep your shit separate. Because you don't know if it's going to work out.
Don't pay for someone's schooling when you only just met them. And then...
I've seen too many times when I was in banking that like people thought it was going to be forever. It wasn't. And then, one person like just took all the money out of the account. Because if you have a joint account, technically that one person can strip all the money out of the account. And I've seen that happen before where someone comes in, money's all gone. And it's like, oh, your partner took all your money and it's a joint account.
Don't have a joint account and then cheat on that person and think they're not going to rob you blind.
Be careful. But as you progress and you get more comfortable, then you could probably start with baby steps, maybe have a joint account. If you're living together and it's like you both have your individual accounts and you put money into a joint account that your rent or mortgage goes out of or whatever, right? That way you're kind of starting to create that joint account relationship. And then, as you progress further and further, eventually you probably just get to the point where it's really just household income and you're both working together to figure it out, right? So
yeah.
So I'm not sure if we're going to cut this video into 2 parts. I think we will because it sounds like we talked for quite a while. So it's probably good to just break it up into 2. So this is the end of part 1 of our Q&A video. So I just want to thank Nikole Goncalves for coming out and being a part of it to answer some questions. I think she brings a lot of value for the business stuff, obviously parenting and motherhood. So hopefully you guys got a lot out of that. Do you want to say your goodbyes?
This is fun. I will come back anytime. And next time we need some snacks. I'm hungry,
Yeah.
Thanks guys. And if you're coming here from my channel, make sure you subscribe to Matt. He posts here every single week, and I feel like it's really cool when we have friends and family say how much they've been enjoying your videos. So if there's a video that you want Matt to do, leave a comment down below.
Down below.
Yeah.
All right. Well, see you guys next week.
Bye guys.
Bye.